here today and watch our ceremony come to life. In putting this all together, our cohort took a poll on who would speak and represent each component of our program. It is my pleasure to welcome my classmate, my friend, and one of the best off-the-cuff dancers that I've ever seen in my life, Deyson, Nguyen.
Yeah, Deyson! Woo!
Thank you.
Did you know?
All right, turning up. Welcome everyone. Hello. Friends, family, faculty, loved ones. It's a pleasure to be up here today. Usually when I'm on the stage, I'm dancing, so it's nice for a little change. Hi, Mom. She didn't know I was speaking today, so if you see her, don't worry, she doesn't need medical attention. She's very, very excited. To introduce myself, my name is Deyson. I was elected to speak on behalf of our incredible class, and for that honor, I would like to thank them and honor them for their achievements. From the bottom of my heart, it means the world that I can stand up here today and have the privilege to speak for us and to have you trust me with this huge responsibility. Even I don't trust myself with this responsibility. Don't worry, you're in good hands. As I'm standing up here right now, I know this moment, this day, it's not all about me, as much as I would like it to be. This day is about all these wonderful people sitting up here with us right now. A lot of them told me how much they hate the spotlight, but today's the day to recognize all of our accomplishments and achievements. So I'm going to recognize certain groups of people within our class. There's a lot of hard workers and overachievers in our group. And speaking of overachievers, I want to bring attention to some of the fledglings of our group who, at a young age, accomplished the task of graduating nursing school at the beginning of their 20s, already possessing a maturity and intuition needed to care for others in such a meaningful way. I know when I was their age, all I cared about was being carefree and drinking and playing video games. What they were able to accomplish today, at their age, is worth recognizing and celebrating. They have an even brighter future ahead of them, and I have been very humbled being able to watch them grow as they progress through the program. We also have our students from all over the world who speak English as a second language, who are faced with the challenge of learning all the medical jargon and nursing content in their non-primary language. It's like going to Belgium and attempting to go through medical school in Dutch. I struggled enough with learning words like cholecystolithiasis and percutaneous transluminal coronary angioplasty. They did it and then some, which deserves much recognition and praise. Another group I want to recognize are our mothers and our parents in our cohort, who have the dual task of raising a family and keeping up with the life of nursing school. Someone I took personal inspiration from, and I think deserves special recognition, is one of our peers who worked full-time, nights, at the hospital, and raised a family of 4, all while showing up to class every day with a positive attitude and a smile. I never saw her complain once. She taught me what it is to live and love for your family. She is the embodiment of a hero, and I want everyone in the room to know that. And I know your family's sitting out there, and they're so proud of you. I wish I had enough time to tell you all about every individual person sitting up here. But I'm pretty sure they can still take my degree away, so. Instead, I will just tell you our story. It's March 2020 at Golden West College, And I remember sitting in lab for microbiology. It's the last class I need to take before I apply for nursing school. And we're talking, and I just remember a professor going, "Has anyone been to Costco lately? It's crazy over there." And we go into this whole discussion about what's going on and how this crazy virus we know as COVID is going around. And I remember in this discussion, him saying something along the lines of, "Sometimes the response to the disease is more dangerous than the disease itself." Oh, how little we knew. And just like that, things changed in an instant. We were secluded to our homes, untrusting of others, and uncertain of our futures. All of us had dedicated years of our lives up to this point to get into a program. Now the thought of nursing school seems so far away. Months pass by, there's no word or idea about what's next. And then one day we saw it on our screens. Golden West College, School of Nursing, accepting applications. I had so many questions. Is this real? Is this a good time? Am I ready? But as the saying goes, carpe diem. And that's what we did. And that was the moment we were waiting for, and we seized it. While the structures of our past were crumbling down and the world was painted black, we saw the light of our futures, and we made the choice to hold on to it. Collectively, every person sitting up here made the choice to hold on to our futures despite all the uncertainty and despair around us. That is our common ground, and one of the many reasons why I admire each and every one of you. So, while the world was in disarray and COVID cases had just peaked, we valiantly showed up to the front lines of our desktops. Sometimes barely presentable, foreheads glaring into the camera, some of us even in our beds, asking ourselves, do I really deserve to be here? Nothing in nursing school builds imposter syndrome, like listening to the heart sounds of a teddy bear while your clinical instructor is assessing you. What's that? It's not in the right place? Oh yeah, I think I heard the murmur too. Excuse me, Mr. Snuggles, are you a smoker? Luckily for us, that only lasted one semester. In our second semester, we were granted the privilege of experiencing the miracle of childbirth. I'll never forget seeing my first delivery. The surgeon, with the jaws of life, pulling the baby out after meticulously separating each layer of flesh seamlessly as the surgical team worked together in tandem like a Philharmonic orchestra. It was like another Monday for them. And for some of us, it was our first time ever experiencing anything in the hospital. I still remember the surgical team staring at me after the procedure, asking me, "Are you all right?" I looked like I just saw a ghost, but what I felt was the excitement for the life that was ahead of me and for that newborn. Some of us were so inspired, in fact, that we decided to have little miracles of our own. You know who you are. As the semester reached its end, we reached the halfway mark. Our skills improved, our movement sharpened, and our confidence grew. Third semester rolls around, we're learning pediatrics, pharmacology, along with all of our med-surg content, which was a nice reminder telling us that we knew nothing. You know, some people tell you that nursing school gets easier as you go, but they're lying. It doesn't. It gets harder. But what you learn is you get better. You get better at handling the chaos and the workload. For example, I learned to have my mental breakdowns on the weekends rather than the weekdays so I can maximize my time studying. Jokes aside, oftentimes as people, I think we define ourselves in moments where we overcome our struggles. And in that semester, I think, is where we learn the definition of resilience. Not only through our studies, but by taking care of our precious little ones who are also fighting their own battles. And finally, this leads us into our final chapter, the fourth semester, the final countdown. If I could describe the semester in 2 words, I would say trauma, bonding, or mental health, which we had a lot of, and needed. The saying goes, it always gets harder the closer you are to the finish line, and we were so close. Coming to the semester, if you ask any of us, the first 4 to 5 weeks were the hardest weeks of our lives. You could read it on our faces in the way that we carried ourselves. We had a massive amount of things thrown at us, like boot camp, exams, mental health rotations, and to top it off, critical care. All while trying to take care of ourselves, our families, and work to pay the bills. I found that my mantra for that semester was, I don't have to do this, I get to do this. It helped me push to reframe the way I looked at where we were. Pressure is a privilege, and we helped care for some of the most intensive, delicate, and vulnerable populations, and it made us better people for it, and better nurses. We marched forward through the semester with every last bit of energy that we had, our heads sometimes barely above the water, striving for the finish line. Everything we worked for in the past 2 years of our lives for this moment right here, through heartbreaks and new relationships, through deaths and births, through engagements, marriages, and illness, we completed nursing school. We did it. We did that. We're here, and I'm so immensely proud of us. And I know everyone out here is so proud of you guys too.
Yes.
We are different people because of it. We're more refined, polished, hardened, and kind-hearted. And I'm proud to say that I'm more confident. I'm confident that I'll never know everything, but that I possess the ability and skills to figure it out. So what do we do from here? What's next? The question I get asked a lot during nursing school is, or we all get asked a lot is, what type of nurse do you want to be? And for me, I struggled with that question the entire time. I really didn't know. I had no medical background previously, and I still don't know, to be honest, but I think I found my answer. And I want to be a nurse that is compassionate, that is honest, that is safe, that has integrity, and isn't afraid to stand up for what they believe in. I hope for us to be nurses that help close that gap in healthcare disparity and be able to care for our patients as if they were our own fathers, mothers, siblings, loved ones. So today, as we are celebrating the end of our nursing school journey, I want for us to be able to not see this as the closing of a chapter, but the opening of a new one. But this chapter, much like nursing school, there will be as many ups as there are downs. But may what we learned and experienced in our time here carry us to the end. My advice to you guys is to never stop learning. In the words of the great Anthony Bourdain, there is no final resting place of the mind, no moment of smug clarity. Perhaps wisdom is realizing how small I am and unwise and how far I have yet to go. So keep going, you guys. I can't wait to see how far we go. So to end my time up here, I would like to give thanks where thanks are due. Firstly, thank you to CNSA and the Penny Committee for planning and putting this entire event together. I know this wasn't an easy task, especially with keeping up with all the work in nursing school, so thank you so much. Please give it up for them. Next, I would like to give some love to everyone out here. Please give a round of applause for yourselves. I know some of you probably had to miss work today for this, so you're very welcome. I hope you're enjoying some PTO. But jokes aside, every successful person up here is someone who had their backs since the beginning. And we couldn't have done it without your support. So whether, sorry. I promised them I would cry, so this is your guys' moment, okay? So whether you're a parent, sibling, spouse, significant other, friend, select all that apply. We thank you deeply for cheering us on through our nursing school journey, and for believing us even during the times we found it hard to believe in ourselves. Thank you for the times when we came home from clinicals, depleted of energy. You make dinner and make sure we got our rest. Thank you for giving us someone to talk to, and looking after our kids, and letting us know you love us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's no possible way we could ever repay you on a new grad nurse's salary. Please allow 5 to 10 years. To our teachers, clinical instructors, faculty and staff, we are grateful for you, and you deserve a tremendous amount of praise. Amy Thatch, Potts, Yip Pham, Barbara Mayati, Amy Rangel, Juan Broyles, Berlin Ching, and Nguyen. These were some of our theory instructors who educate us throughout the program. And not to mention all of our clinical instructors who help teach and mentor us throughout our time at the hospital. Being a teacher myself, I can say that teaching is often a thankless job. We often view them as gatekeepers to our progress, or the guardians of our grades, or the constant sources of our misery. That wasn't supposed to be in there. But that's not who they are, and that's not what they do. They're the nurturers to our potential, the shepherds to our growth. They're the ones to challenge us in ways that we didn't know we were ready for. And they taught us more than just disease processes and medications, but how to look and listen and think like a nurse. They have the difficult and tedious task of turning this into a competent and well-rounded nurse. I don't think you can fathom the amount of work that takes. Especially now, in a time where there's a shortage of nurses and educators throughout our nation. Our faculty, staff, and leadership are the ones who made the conscious decision to be part of the solution and take the vow to train and teach the next generation of nurses. For that, we salute you and hope that you feel appreciated by everyone in this room today. So please give it up for our educators. Lastly, I would like to give thanks to all the people at Golden West College that do the necessary work in the background for us to be here. It takes a village to build a nurse. So thank you to our nursing administrative office, lab staff, DSPS, custodians, financial aid, and scholarship office, and anyone I probably missed at Golden West College. Many things need to happen that we as students are unaware of, and they deserve acknowledgement as well. And with that concludes my speech. Thank you everyone for having me and being so gracious. Please tell your friend or family member that you love them tonight. And does anybody have a tissue? Thanks, Deyson. That was incredible. And we couldn't have done it without one another. I would now like to introduce Dr. Alice